What is esports, Fred? What is this? How do you explain it?
I think so. I've had a couple methods over the years because, truthfully, a lot of the time that I talk about esports with people, it's people that are established in the business world or people who have are usually not on the younger side.
Right.
And so the easiest way to do it for me is if do you know anything about a game called Rocket League?
Heard of it?
So it's basically RC cars that play soccer.
Yeah.
It's a simple concept. So I show them a little bit of it. And I go, look, it's just like real sports, except instead of people kicking a soccer ball, you're driving this car. But then I wait a second, I have a clip, and it's just these guys playing. They're not super good, but then it kind of cuts to some really good players. They start throwing the ball into the air, chasing it with a rocket booster, and hitting it into the goal. And everybody's like, "Whoa, what was that?" And I go, "That's esports." And so it's been really cool to see the reactions there because they're like, "Oh, I get this. It's just soccer, but with cars. That's a cool concept. But like, why is this interesting? Like, we could just go watch soccer." And so every time they see the pop up and then someone fly up in the air and hit it, and then it cuts to like a crowd reaction of just the crowd going crazy.
Right.
It's actually an RLCS, I think, from 2018, which is just the Rocket League Championship Series. And so I found so often that it's hard to explain esports. So you show them just that little bit of like super fun, super hype moment that anybody can understand, and it just kind of clicks.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't necessarily. So if I was one of those people, or you approached me, and even if I'm old enough that, and you probably get, as a younger person, right, you probably get tired of people like me who are like, well, I remember Nintendo and Sega. Yeah. But then, life took over for me, and I haven't held on to gaming. I held on to other hobbies or interests, right? But to me, right away, esports, I would just think of, you're just talking about video games about sports. And that might be one thing. And maybe introducing a concept of like, cars, playing a soccer game. But then I would think beyond that, the more I've thought about this and researched it, then you just get into the competitive side of gaming.
Exactly.
And there's the sport of whatever. It could be a first-person shooter game, right? And if now we're in a modern world where you're playing that on Twitch and you're streaming it and people are watching it, and if there's a competition between people playing a first shooter game or whatever it is, well then that team me seems like that's under the umbrella of esports. Is that accurate? Just from the competitive side,
I'd say so, and I think a huge part of that too is sometimes I love and sometimes I hate the esports label.
Yeah,
because we don't call football and soccer IRL sports,
right?
And it's like, truthfully, the way it should be, and it's not going to be there for a while, I don't think, is it shouldn't be esports. It should be Rocket League and Call of Duty. It should be just that's the sport is Rocket League. The sport is Call of Duty.
Right.
I don't think it's going to get there for a long time. It may never get there. But I think the best way for someone who's in the industry to look at it is each game is its own sport. Like our league is the SEL, which is just the esports version of the SEC. Our games...
And define SEL for everyone real quick.
Southeastern Esports League.
Right.
And so our games are Rocket League, and this season we're also introducing Valorant. So we look at them as two different sports almost completely. Different commentators, different teams of staff, different teams entirely that are playing. They may be the same universities, but it's no different than their baseball team playing the same baseball team and their volleyball team playing the same volleyball team. And so it's kind of hard to differentiate it sometimes. And once again, I don't think it's going to get there for a long time. But it's definitely cool that I see people who like kind of view it that way. But I also get the same people that are like, you get paid to play video games? And it just hits them and they're like, nah. I played the Nintendo as a kid. I would never get paid to play that. I'm like, well...
Unless you're really good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, people kind of did. When you go to the arcade and there'd be someone playing Street Fighter or something on the arcade machine and you put $5 up on it.
Yeah.
It's just that, but now there's a lot more money behind it.